Nintendo Switch 2. Bigger, faster, overall better, pero mas mahal. Well. I think this is by far the most expensive game console na pwede nyo bilhin in the market right now. Is it actually worth it? Let us unbox muna. By the way, thank you so much Game Extreme for giving us this opportunity to get early hands-on sa Nintendo Switch 2. At yung binigay nila is Nintendo Switch 2 Mario Kart World Bundle. Inside, we're getting the digital copy ng Mario Kart World. May code lang nakasama sa loob ng box. So yung box, surprisingly, is mas maliit pa kaysa kay Nintendo Switch OLED. Pero yung actual unit is mas malaki kay Switch OLED. By the way, ito pala yung Southeast Asian variant. Hindi po siya yung Canadian, US, Japanese, no. This is the official Philippine variant. Warranty from Nintendo Southeast Asia. Here we go. Yan na po guys. That is the display. Ito yung makuha nyo. Grabe yung laki. Syempre, we're also getting bigger Joy-Cons. These are what you call the Joy-Con 2 controllers. Woohoo! Ganda! Matte finish yung back. Ganyan na po yung tsura ng... Uy, ang premium. Guys, when you get a hold of it, it feels much more premium than Nintendo Switch OLED. Left and right... Uy, napaka-premium din. And... Ooh, another one. Satisfying. And there you have it guys, Nintendo Switch 2. Ganyan siya kalaki. Ito po si Nintendo Switch OLED. Kita niyo ba yung difference? 7 inches, 7.9 inches, or almost 8 inches. Yung size ng brief ko. Laki ah. And even the controller size, tingnan nyo yan guys, ang laki nitong Nintendo Switch 2 controller. But still the same, yung kanilang functionality. Meron din siya ditong shoulder trigger sa taas. A little bit more comfortable than the small Nintendo Switch 2. Pero ayun na nga, magnetic na po ang pag-attach ng mga controllers sa actual unit itself. Mas satisfying at mas madali po siyang i-remove or i-attach. Very secure po siya, even with the magnet. Sobrang tindi po na kanyang kapit. Now, don't worry, meron po siyang lock dito. So, kahit magnet lang po yung kanyang pandikit, it locks in place para secured po siya when you're playing games. Type-C cable, 1.5 meters. Joy-Con controller covers and strap. At yung Mario Kart World digital copy na merong redeem code na ayaw kong pakita. Underneath, we're getting the charger. Oh, by the way, not sure if ito talaga yung sa atin na kasi European to ah. Baka Singaporean variant yung binigay sa akin. Not sure. HDMI 2.1 cables, up to 4K 120 FPS. We're also getting the Joy-Con 2 grip. Ayan po yung tsura niya. And last but not least is the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Mas malaki. Big black dock. And there you have it. This is the Nintendo Switch 2. Ito po yung dock niya. Both are bigger devices. Actually, lahat po ay mas malaki. From the display, 7.9 inches. The controllers, mas malaki. The dock, mas malaki din. Pero Vince, hindi ko mag-gets. Bakit meron ganito? May ganito? Para saan to? Okay, so by itself, the Switch 2 can only handle mostly 1080p na graphics. Kung gusto mo siya mag 4K sa isang mas malaking screen, sa TV, kailangan mo siyang i-dock dito, giving it more power and of course more support. Ayan. So meaning if you wanna hook this up to a TV, guys, wala po siyang HDMI port sa mismong unit itself. Ano lang po siya sa dock, which is yung sa likod niya, merong HDMI port which connects to your TV or monitor, pwede naman. Meron din po siyang AC adapter dito na port para pwede niya i-charge or i-power up yung Nintendo Switch 2 while you're playing on a TV. And of course, good news, meron pa siyang LAN port dito. By the way guys, if you're going to download games, kailangan naka-LAN port kayo or LAN cable kasi medyo mabagal po yung pag-download ng games through Wi-Fi. Meron siya mga Type A ports dito for extra accessories siguro. Pero yun, just like the original Nintendo Switch, modular design po siya. Meaning, marami siya mga separate parts na pwede mong i-attach para mabuo siya. Ayan. Ayan. By the way, pwede mo rin i-dock siya with the controllers on. Just like that. Ayan. Pero, paano yun? Wala na controller. Gawin mo lang ito kapag meron kang extra controller or pro controller. Pwede mo siya lagay dito. Para pagka hindi mo na siya kailangan dito, pwede mo na lang yan. Para hindi mawala yung dalawang controller mo. Now, Vince, para saan to? This is the Joy-Con grip. Kasi what if sa TV ka naglalaro, no? Nakaganyan siya. Siyempre, ang pangit naman pag ganyan. Ang hirap. Or ang pangit naman pag ganyan. Not ergonomic. Kailangan, snap and snap. At ganyan na po yung tsura niya. Now it looks like a traditional gamepad, which is not that comfortable. Now, syempre for me, the most comfortable controller, no, it's not the PS5 controller. It is the Xbox controller. Now for me, this is not the shape that really gives you comfort. Kung gusto mo talaga ng controller, you have to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. Pero kasi mahal yun, nasa 5,000 na. Pagka naka-TV setup ka, ganito mo siya gagamitin.
Pero Vince, matagal ko na andyan, bago Nintendo Switch OLED, I know all this.
So ibig sabihin pala, pares na pala yung functionality niya with the Nintendo Switch OLED. Yes. The Nintendo Switch 2 is just a faster, bigger, overall much better system than a Nintendo Switch, giving you better quality of life features. Up to 4K 120 FPS now with DLSS. So pagbukas ng unit nyo, dito ba yung tsura niya? Home button, click daw 3 times. same na same. Of course, syempre, naset up ko na po siya. There's Mario Kart World. Sound-wise, okay lang po siya. It's not super loud yung kanyang speaker. Ganyan lang po siya. Feeling ko mas malakas pa yung iPhone dito na speaker. Yup. Pero I must say the visuals are just really much more improved. Finally guys, hindi nyo alam kung gaano kabagal po, kung gaano ka pang PS2 yung graphics ng original Nintendo Switch. Laki! Ayan po siya oh. Now, napansin ko kahit malaking display dito. This one is a 1080p resolution. By the way, aside po ng Nintendo, kapag ka handheld mode daw ng parang ganito, mostly 1080p lang po yung mga games. And kapag ka gusto mo ng nasa TV talaga, 4K. Ba't ganun? Ba't nila siya 4K agad dito sa handheld mode? Kasi nga guys, mas mabilis po maubos yung battery ng inyong device kapag ka lagi naka 4K. And at the same time, while looking at the display, you will never notice the difference between 4K and 1080p sa ganito klaseng kalaki na display. Pero guys grabe, sobrang premium po ng kanyang feels compared po kay Nintendo Switch OLED. Very plasticky po siya or parang laruan yung dating ng original Nintendo Switch. Pero dito, kapag nagamit mo siya, guys, this really feels like a very premium, expensive product. Para siyang Steam Deck OLED yung feels, ganon, or ROG Ally. It really feels like a 30 to 40,000 pesos na game console. And yes, touchscreen din po to, pero not all games support touchscreen. Oh, by the way, meron pala siyang bago sa controller niya, no? Meron siyang C dito, nakatama yan sa ilalim ng home button. That is the game chat button. If you press that, tapos meron ka mga friends na naglalaro din at the same time as you, pwede ka mag-chat sa kanila. Or kapag multiplayer, pwede ka mag-chat using this chat button. Meron din po siyang screenshot button dito sa left side naman, itong blue controller. Sa ilalim ng D-pad, pagka-click mo, it will screenshot whatever it is that's happening on screen. Basically, yun lang po yung ginagawa niya. Pagka hinold mo naman, capture video. Ayun, screen record. Para sa mga magandang replays. By the way, patama na yung mga ibang buttons niya. Of course, meron siyang 4 na shoulder triggers dito. Meron pa siyang R and L, and bigger ones, ZR and ZL. By the way, kung medyo mahina yung kanya speaker, you want higher fidelity audio. Finally, I got some Meze cans right here. Fortunately, meron pa siyang headphone jack dito sa taas. Ganyan ka dapat maglaro ng Nintendo Switch 2. Yan! Oh, by the way, meron mga compatible po na headphones na Bluetooth na pwede sa Nintendo Switch 2. Based sa chismis, Bluetooth 5.2 daw. Pero hindi sinabi sa official specs ni Nintendo. May USB Type-C po sa taas. Pwede ka mag-charge sa taas, guys. Just like that. Or baka may accessory dito na pwede mong ilagay. Pwede rin. Meron siya sa taas at meron siya sa ilalim. Pretty nice. At kung gusto mo talaga ng immersion, talagang kailangan mo ng headset. Malaking bagay ito. By the way, I have to tell you something very important. Yung kanyang micro SD card slot ay nakatago dito sa ilalim. Kailangan mo iangat yung kanyang stand dito to reveal the micro SD Express card slot. Nga pala no, nakalagay micro SD Express card. Pero gagana naman dito yung micro SD card slot na traditional or the usual. Yun nga lang, ang sabi ni Nintendo, mas maganda daw if bibili ka ng micro SD Express cards. Ang sabi ni Nintendo, micro SD Express cards are faster at reading and writing data compared to micro SD cards, which are used with Nintendo Switch. FYI, nagbibenta po sa Game Extreme ng micro SD Express cards. That is up to 2 terabytes. Nga pala, meron na pong 256 gigabytes na storage po itong Nintendo Switch 2. So meaning, kapag binili mo siya, you don't have to buy a micro SD card agad. Pwede ka mag-download ng mga digital games dito. Immediately, pwede ka maglaro. That is a good thing. Cartridge, pwede rin. Walang problema. Pero guys, konti lang ang pwede mong ilagay sa 256 gigabytes na storage. If you want more games, kailangan mo talaga mag-upgrade ng micro SD Express card. Medyo magastos pong magkaroon ng Nintendo Switch 2. Kailangan mo pa ng Pro Controller. By itself, it's pretty okay. But to really improve the experience, bibili ka pa ng Pro Controller, bibili ka pa ng micro SD Express card, 2 terabytes. May nakita ko $200 daw. $200 daw.
What?
12,000 pesos yun. Sheesh. And that's only 1 terabyte. Pero magmumura naman siya over time. But right now, this is what you have. Siguro magtipid-tipid ka muna for a few games lang muna. By the way, one game like the Mario Kart World, $80 po siya. That is 4,100 pesos sa Data Blitz or Game Extreme. No, when it comes to games, wala namang problema sa games, guys. Yung buong Nintendo Switch library pwede mo laruin sa Nintendo Switch 2. Meron pa siyang backwards compatibility. Pero kung ganun nga yung ating logic, bakit di ka nalang mag-Nintendo Switch OLED? Kasi yung performance, same na naman. But if your main purpose is to play the latest and greatest Nintendo Switch 2 games, guys, konting-konti pa lang yung mga games na available for Nintendo Switch 2. In fact, Mario Kart World pa lang yung next gen na game na available sa shop niya. Wala pa yung bagong Metroid Prime, yung bagong Donkey Kong Bonanza, at puro remaster lang or enhanced versions lang ng mga lumang Zelda games ang na-download ko dito. The graphics are actually good. Stable po yung kanyang gameplay. Meron din po siyang Hogwarts Legacy if you haven't played that sa ibang system yet. Meron siya Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, which is nakita na yung gameplay from other reviewers. Okay naman yung kanyang performance. Maganda yung graphics. It's not a compromised version na parang ilalabas mo lang sa Nintendo Switch na original. Talagang maayos siya na port. Pero yun na talaga yung games na available right now sa kanilang online store. And pretty much sa kanilang physical din na mga cartridges, konting-konti lang available. So mag-aabang ka pa, maghihintay ka pa ng konti. Tsaka guys, nalaro ko na si Mario Kart World. And I don't think it's worth it na bumili ka ng Nintendo Switch 2 para lang malaro si Mario Kart World. I highly suggest na maghintay ka muna a few months. Hintayin mo na lumabas si Donkey Kong, si Metroid Prime, at yung mga ibang Nintendo Switch 2 games pa na lalabas in the near future. Pero kung isa kang tao na fear of missing out talaga, parang gusto mong sumabay talaga sa uso, or if you're like me na hindi pa nalaro yung Legend of Zelda dahil ayoko nang maglaro ng 30 FPS game, guys, I actually bought the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom pero hindi ko talaga siya tinatapos. As in, kaka-start pa lang niya and then tinatamad na ako kasi nga 30 FPS. Tapos ang labas sa 4K TV. Ayoko laruin. Pero finally, 4K, 60 frames per second. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Ito, nag-start na ako. This is it. Kaya lang, magbabayad ka ng $10. May tax pa siya. Not sure sa peso to pero $10 siya sa eShop to upgrade to the enhanced version. But if you don't own the original, nasa $50 siya? $50. Ouch! Lugi kayo. Bili na lang kayo ng cartridge na second hand siguro, na mas mura. Meron dyan mga 700 na lang. Which brings us to the conclusion. Dapat mo ba siyang bilhin right now? The answer is very clear. Hindi po right now. Siguro mga bare months, no? Hintay mo na mag-December. I think December is the best time to buy this. Na may discounts, amin. Joke lang. De joke lang. Pati naman bumili sa Little Blitz, Game Extreme. But for me, the Nintendo Switch 2 is quite a very expensive console, especially for Filipinos. Kung yung PS5 pa lang, medyo pricey na, no? Hindi siya accessible for many Filipinos. Lalo na yung mga games, no? 3,000 peso games? That's too much. Paano pa kaya yung mga 4,000 peso games ni Nintendo Switch 2? This is really out of reach for most Filipinos. Because by itself, it's just pretty okay, pretty average. You have to buy a Pro controller to maximize its capabilities. At syempre, to buy more games, kailangan mo ng SD card na very expensive din. Bibili ka pa ng headphones para mas gumanda yung sound quality. But if you can afford, then it's pretty nice. Pretty premium. Just not practical at the moment. Siguro magkaroon ng re-review next year. Hindi lang kasi maganda yung kanyang launch lineup. Saan game Mario Kart World lang. Tsaka na pag may Pokemon na. May Metroid Prime. May Donkey Kong Bonanza. But if you just want to play, the only thing that makes sense right here is yung Mario Kart World. Halos lahat ng mga games available dito is kaya mong laruin sa Steam Deck OLED. Or kahit sa laptop na may MU. Oops! Kahit sa PS5, malalaro mo yan eh. Basically, wala lang sa PS5 is yung Mario Kart World. So, doesn't make sense talaga right now. And that is my verdict. Nintendo Switch 2. By the way, hindi pala OLED yung display niya. LCD lang. Magkakaroon pa ng OLED in the near future. Para syempre, mas kumita pa sa Nintendo. It's a business move. Kasi kaya naman talaga nila gawing OLED to. But that's pretty much it. The unit is very premium. Quality of life improvements, andito. It's bigger. It's faster. It's overall much better. That is the Nintendo Switch 2. If you wanna see the full review ng Nintendo Switch 2, mag-subscribe ka lang, hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my great content. But the you're watching Unbox Diaries. Ooh.